customer in D'Angelo Fuentes, who, as we mentioned, has given one of Navarro's amateur contemporaries absolute fits somewhat recently. Round 1 scheduled for 6. David Navarro said he's going to show just how explosive and how technical he can be. He told us he feels that D'Angelo Fuentes has just one gear. That's not something, Chris, that Fuentes really refuted. He said, I grew up watching Roberto Duran. I'm going to apply pressure. Let's see if he can handle it.
Maybe one gear, but it's a pretty good gear.
It's a good gear, yeah.
It's pretty good gear. He's a rough guy. He's tough. He's got good power in those hands. Got 5 knockouts in his 8 wins. Puts on a lot of pressure as we're seeing him backing up Navarro into his own corner already.
That sweeping left hook we saw him on cork a moment ago. That could be particularly dangerous for Fuentes.
Now for featherweights, both these guys do look big and physically strong for the weight class.
Stiff jab there from David Navarro.
Speed advantage certainly going into Navarro. Nice counter.
You're going to hear the sound of that left hook that connected from Navarro a moment ago.
And Navarro looked very sharp. Quick, explosive, twitchy.
If he looks sharp here tonight, it would make sense. This is the longest training camp he's been able to have as a professional, basically 2.5 months to prepare for this one. Quite often early in your career, Chris, as you know, that's just not a reality. That's not how fights get booked at this juncture in your career.
Yeah, I mean, when you're early on in your career, you just got to stay ready at all times because opportunities arise on a couple weeks' notice, and you can't really turn them down at that point of your career. Good stiff jab to the body there from D'Angelo. Ooh, good right hand from Navarro upstairs.
Right behind that throwaway left hook with a nice right hand. Looks for it again. Fuentes hip to it now as he takes some uncharacteristic strides backwards. As Fuentes likes to be on the front foot, wants to be walking Navarro down, but Navarro showing his arsenal here in the early going.
Early on in Fuentes early on in the fight with Duke Reagan, it looked similar to this. He was a little outgunned in terms of speed. You know, he had a very sharp guy in front of him, but he came on late, was really starting to put the pressure. So look for Fuentes to come on as the rounds wear on.
And you've kind of seen that attitude from Fuentes in the gym, haven't you?
Yes.
That knowledge that you belong, even if you are outgunned early. Fuentes not backing down.
No, he comes in the gym like he owns the place. He's got an attitude about him, and he brings it when he fights. Nice stiff jab there from Fuentes, backs up Navarro.
You already hit him with the left hook that he felt it. I think he's going to start moving and trying to box. So you got to make sure you're cutting off the ring, moving your waist, and jabbing your way in, okay? Just don't lunge in from too far and don't throw from too far out, all right? Deep breath. I feel good? You guys not strong enough? No. Let's start backing him up. Moving your way behind the jab, but let's start backing him up, all right?
So Salvador Navarro and Robert Garcia Jr. in the corner of David Navarro. Family lineage, very much a through line on tonight's broadcast. Navarro, also the nephew of former world title challenger Jose Navarro, who twice fought for world title on the road in Japan against Katsushige Kawashima and Masamori Takayama. That's a nice left hook there from Navarro.
What a shot there from Fuentes. Overhand right on the chin of Navarro.
Excuse me, from Fuentes, yes.
And that's what we talked about Fuentes. He's a dangerous guy. He's in there, he's got good power, not afraid to mix it up. I like what Fuentes is doing. He's throwing that jab to the chest of Navarro. He's having trouble getting to his head early on, hitting that shoulder, hitting that chest, whatever he can get his hands on. Fuentes is trying to touch Navarro.
Well, Fuentes in particular said that he was focused on punch placement throughout camp and that was an improvement that he could make. He just misses with that left hook.
I mean, you can see that. You can see that he's putting those punches where he wants them. Not just aiming for the head, but also aiming for the collarbone, the shoulder, the chest. Nice double, triple jab there from Navarro on the way out.
Nice 45, little hybrid uppercut connects there from Navarro prior to those jabs. After a good start to the round from Fuentes. Chopping right hand on the inside there from Navarro. Doesn't discourage D'Angelo Fuentes, who said he took a look at the size of this ring and he just smiled when he saw how small it would be and what he'd be the dimensions he'd be working with here tonight.
Yeah, he probably looked at it and said, "Ooh, this is my kind of ring."
Now it's Navarro who's backing Fuentes up and lands a nice left hook right around the belt line.
That was a beautiful dig right around the elbow of Fuentes. Even those shots, when you block them on the elbow digs into your liver and you feel it.
You could see, though, Fuentes, although he doesn't want to get caught with those shots, Chris, he's happy to stand in there and trade left hooks. I think he feels he's going to come out on top in that exchange.
Yeah, and he very well might. He's got heavy hands, and you know he touched Navarro earlier in the round with a good shot that Navarro definitely felt. Navarro definitely the sharper of the two. He's got that good snappy jab, throws it high, throws it low. Ooh, nice 3-2 combination, hook and a right hand. And Fuentes wincing after that shot.
Well, he certainly felt those body shots as well. And he is still wincing. Fuentes taking some backward steps, retreating to the ropes, and Navarro is all over him. Look at Fuentes trying to fight his way out of this. Final 10 seconds of round 2.
Nice uppercut on the inside there from Navarro. As Fuentes getting a little too aggressive.
David Navarro making a dent in the double tough D'Angelo Fuentes.
You can't play. Superman can play.
I think I cut a bus in half.
The Scarab is trying to become one with you.
Oh, I forgot how bad it looks.
I've seen worse.
I didn't ask for any of this.
They'll kill us all to get it back.
We can do this together.
Hey, get away from my sister.
Sick.
Beetle, rated PG-13, only in theaters August 18th.
Here we see Navarro going to work as he has Fuentes against the ropes. I believe this is the close of the round, but he was already wincing in pain. He got hit with a right hand earlier in the round. That really got the attention of Fuentes. He went back to the corner, still wincing that right eye. I'm wondering what's going on there. If it was a cut or a thumb to the eye or perhaps even a fractured orbital, something of that nature.
Keep an eye on the condition of D'Angelo Fuentes, but he's certainly not backing down as we begin round 3. Rebecca Ruber was in the corner of D'Angelo Fuentes during the last round, and they were telling Fuentes that in order to stop Navarro's jab, which he really got working last round, Chris, that he needs to stop reaching.
Yeah, you can see that. He's fighting very heavy over that front foot, and he's allowing Navarro to get off with that jab at will. Yeah, you see the swelling over that eye now, starting to blow up.
That right hand over the top from Navarro, not helping the case.
Here's that jab. Navarro flashing very sharp, hard jab. Nice counter, a hook. Catches Fuentes on the way in.
And that was
beautifully timed
hook.
shot.
Yeah, the counter left hook to the body as he's moving backwards. Beautiful shot from Navarro, and you could see Fuentes felt that one again, retreating voluntarily to the ropes as Navarro might have him hurt again.
And Navarro is imposing his will and his power, his physical strength on Fuentes. Really good this round. Looking very, very sharp, very, very disciplined is Navarro. You always see guys with the high-level amateur, the eyes. They're always dead focused. He's looking at everything. He's watching the center of his man's chest so he can see the bottom of his feet and he can see the top of his head. So any movement that changes, he's ready.
Well, important to note, too, that all of the big moments from Navarro came after Fuentes' best moment, that right hand early in round 2. And I think that's another thing that well-schooled fighters tend to display. A moment like that, well, that's not a scary moment so much as it's a learning experience. It's a pattern that he's picked up. And clearly Navarro is seeing what's coming right now and doing what he wants with D'Angelo Fuentes.
And also, according to that point, it's a moment that you need to get back from your opponent and some. That's something that's saw in the amateurs, especially high-level guys. If someone touches you, you got to get it back and some. Navarro doing that very well. Oh, just being very physical is Navarro here. Good body work, good overhand rights, being very physical, keeping Fuentes pinned against the ropes and digging on both sides with those hard hooks.
Well, this is the kind of physicality that Fuentes hoped that he would impose on Navarro, but right now, he is on the back foot, back against the ropes, and Navarro just teeing off.
Teeing off like he's hitting a heavy bag. And Fuentes did not have much of an answer here in round number 3.
Final moments of another dominant round for the amateur standout David Navarro.
And on top of it, displaying beautiful head movement and defense.
Controlling the fight really nice. Just like I told you, there's still little moments where you're standing when you guys are both.
It's a long-awaited clash of British featherweights as Lee Wood puts his WBA title on the line against Josh Warrington, live from Sheffield on October 7th.
Give me the uppercut and then go to the body after, okay? Pick your shots a little bit better against the ropes, right? Don't get wild either.
That's a jab, mijo.
The jab is working real good. Keep using it, all right? Keep using that jab. Like I told you, don't be jumping back too much. Watch that overhand right that he's throwing. All right, but he's already starting to get desperate. When he got you right here on the ropes, he's starting to get desperate, all right?
Round 4 underway. D'Angelo Fuentes just gallops out to center ring, but David Navarro there to meet him. And he had D'Angelo Fuentes backing up for nearly the entirety of round 3, and that is not a way that Fuentes can win this fight, Chris, unless he can land a home run left hook.
Yeah, I mean, from this distance and this mid-range, Navarro is just a classier fighter. He's been displaying a brilliant jab, great head movement, and putting together some serious power combinations like that. Digging left hooks to the body. Whenever he pins Fuentes on the ropes, he goes to work.
More left hooks to the body here in the opening 40 seconds of this round. You mentioned Navarro's father, Salvador, in his corner in conjunction with the Garcia family. That's a similar arrangement to what we saw last week with the Murataya family, with the father working in conjunction with Robert Garcia to train their son.
And Garcia's great like that. He's not one of those coaches with a big ego. I actually had a similar setup with him in my career. I had my original coaches, but I worked with Robert as well.
Look at Navarro, 3-4 punch combination, punctuated with a nice uppercut that digs the left hook downstairs.
And I like how Navarro's not forgetting the body. He's doing so well with the jab upstairs. He's showing brilliant defense, but then he always digs downstairs too, just to remind you, hey, I can hurt you too. This range is no good for Fuentes. Because just like that, Navarro's able to set up, time the on-rushes of Fuentes. He needs to be all the way in or all the way out, because that middle distance is all Navarro.
Oh, hard left hook to the body there from Navarro as he wraps a right hand around the guard of Fuentes as well.
Fuentes fighting back off the ropes, but just does not have the same power off the back foot as he does when he's going forward.
Credit to Fuentes, he's still throwing hard off the ropes, but just looks physically overwhelmed at times.
Yeah, Navarro just looks too sharp, too strong. And there's that wincing eye again. Navarro touched him with a strafing jab, and Fuentes winces.
No, get out.
Inside the final 30 seconds here of round 4. D'Angelo Fuentes just not able to get that downhill momentum, so to speak, that he wanted. This is more like what he wanted to do, but Navarro, flashing the defensive capabilities as well, turns him around and now has Fuentes with his back to the corner and digging to the body.
And he punctuates that defense with a big right hand upstairs that backs up Fuentes. Fuentes lands a right hand.
He does.
And another one.
Good reply there from Fuentes to end round 4.
Fuentes needed that to get back in this fight.
That's how you're gonna have to finish this up, bro. That's your only chance. You gotta sit down there and you gotta fucking fight with this kid. You understand? Are you scared of him? No. Then fucking get your hands fucking moving. When he comes for you and he's in the pocket and you guys are in the pocket, you start letting him go too. He ain't shit. Every time you fucking hit him, he's backing the fuck up. Just let your fucking hands go. When he comes in, he ain't shit. When he comes close to you, he ain't shit. Drop your fucking hips and punch him between his shit. You understand what I'm saying? You got what round? Hey, listen, you got 2 rounds to get this fucking shit done. Water, give water. You got 2 more fucking rounds. You understand me, D'Angelo? You let your fucking hands go. There is no tomorrow, bro. There is no fucking tomorrow.
On that jab, go down with it. Come on, coaches, let's go. Put it away.
As round 5 begins, we'll see if D'Angelo Fuentes can build off a much-needed moment at the end of round 4, landing a pair of right hands. And really, there have been 3 big moments for Fuentes in this fight. There was that right hand at the end of round 1, or excuse me, at the beginning of round 2, and then those 2 right hands at the end of round 4. Apart from that, it has been mostly David Navarro.
Yeah, and aside from just, Navarro looking very good stylistically and landing a chance, he's been physically strong too, and really putting some hurt on Fuentes as the rounds were on. Round 4, round 3, very, very good damaging rounds for Navarro.
I'll tell you that. Oh, good left hook there from Fuentes as he steps in, but back comes Navarro immediately.
I was saying, Navarro took that punch really well and answered immediately.
Immediately trying to get it back. You got to hand it to Fuentes. Mentioned the fight against Duke Reagan. Now tonight fighting David Navarro. Good shot there again.
I mentioned that Fuentes comes on late, and we're starting to see that here. He just landed some really heavy shots.
All right, let's send it over to Rebecca Ruber, who is standing by with Robert Garcia Jr.
So, Robert, what does your fighter need to do to acquire the win or even a knockout in the next round or 2?
He's landed some really good shots already, but the opponent, he's a tough kid, and he's coming on real well this round. I think we need to use our jab a little bit more, pick his shots a little bit better, not get too reckless.
Is your opponent posing any issues that you didn't expect?
Watch that overhand! I'm sorry?
Is your opponent posing any issues that you didn't expect?
No, we saw from video that we've seen where he's a really good fighter. He's got a good jab. He's looking for the overhand right a lot. But yeah, he's good. There it is.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Well, we saw that overhand right that Robert Garcia Jr. was warning Navarro about. That landed twice during that interview.
Fuentes is having a really good round. He landed some big left hooks upstairs early on, and then we just saw 2 big overhand rights. But Navarro, very sturdy, taking these shots well.
The scouting report on Navarro, I mean, even the people who are highest on Navarro, people within his camp, they know he takes punches. He's taking some, but he is firing back.
Kid likes to fight, even if he doesn't have to.
Trading right hands there in the center of the ring are Fuentes and Navarro as he digs a left hook to the body. Both Fuentes and Navarro in that exchange. What action here in round 5.
Awesome exchanges. Navarro dug a really nasty left hook below the elbow. You see Fuentes trying to shake it off a little bit. Goes right back to it. Does Navarro.
Fuentes taking these shots, begging for more as he tries to walk down David Navarro to end round 5, and he just misses with that right hand.
Just missed with a punch that was a little bit late, too.
That round you were standing in front of him too long. Just standing there waiting for him to fucking go. Use your jab, all right?
Here's Navarro letting go with his combinations. When he throws punches and bunches, he's been having great success. But in that round, Fuentes found some great overhand shots and left hooks. Came back strong, probably the best round of the fight so far for Fuentes, but it was not one-way action. Both men were going back and forth, landing big shots.
Sixth and final round of a bout that is unfolded as advertised between David Navarro and D'Angelo Fuentes. Terrific action fight here in Atlanta, Georgia.
I would expect a very strong push from Fuentes in this round. As he was finding some success last round, he's got to really build on his, and really he's out of time because he's got to understand that he's behind.
More good body work there from David Navarro. Going back to something we were touching on earlier, you have to hand it to Fuentes. Again, signed up to fight Duke Reagan, gave him a good fight, has now signed up to fight David Navarro. He had a fight scheduled against Haven Brady, but that fight fell through. He's basically signed up to fight this entire amateur graduating class. And I think David Navarro might have forgotten his mouthpiece at the beginning of the ring, at the beginning of the round. Is that what I saw?
I don't understand how guys do that. I've had 49 professional fights. I've never left a corner without my mouthpiece.
Oh, Fuentes going for it here. Good shot there. Nice exchange on the inside. Both men connecting in that one as Navarro gets back to the right hand, wraps it around the guard of D'Angelo Fuentes.
You can sense the urgency from Fuentes. He knows that he's run out of time. He's got to do something big here if he's going to pull this fight out of the fire. Nice left hook from Fuentes. Navarro comes right back with his right hand. Oh, that's the shot.
Loading up in that right hand. He connects, but again, Navarro just has that thing in him that when he gets touched, he wants to come back in combination.
You know what other thing he has in him? A good chin, because he's taking some big shots from Fuentes. Fuentes, not a light puncher. Navarro's walked through everything and come right back.
Both these men perhaps with the final round knockout bonus in the back of their minds right now.
Really, the only time we've seen either of these guys hurt was when Fuentes took that right hand and was squinting his eye for the next half a round. But other than that, these guys' chins have held up. Oh, good body work from Navarro.
Back comes Fuentes with a nice right hand, but Navarro replies. Look at Fuentes just swinging for the fences here. And it looks like a clash of heads. Quick observation, and we're back to action.
Short time in the round. I'm actually a little upset this fight's going to end. These guys are really heating up these last two rounds.
I'm sure D'Angelo Fuentes is wondering, well, what would this fight look like if it went 8? David Navarro, I'm sure, wouldn't mind the extra time to try and break Fuentes down. An exciting performance from both men. David Navarro, maybe just with a few too many dimensions for D'Angelo Fuentes, but Fuentes made him work from bell to bell.
Excellent, excellent fight.
After going the distance inside the OTX ring, the official scorecard reads as follows. Judge Sells scores about 60-54. Judge Webb, 58-56, and Judge Williams scores the bout 60-54. All in favor of the winner by way of unanimous decision. David